Imagine you were walking down the street and a surveillance camera picked up your face, but because you were wearing a special pair of glasses like I am, the AI system wasn't able to recognize who you are. In fact, it thought you were someone else. Or imagine the AI of a car being fooled into thinking that a stop sign was actually a speed limit sign. Sounds like fiction, right? Well, what if I told you it's not fiction, this is real? These types of attacks are what we call the adversarial patch attacks, and they are some of the strangest and scariest vulnerabilities in AI systems. Guys, welcome back to Lab Cyber, where I discuss all things cybersecurity and AI. And today marks the launch of a new series that I'm creating here on the channel, where I discuss adversarial attacks. And when I say adversarial attacks, I'm talking specifically about attacks against artificial intelligence. So marking the launch of this series, we're going to be discussing adversarial patch attacks. Now, before I discuss what exactly these are, it is important for us to understand in the first place how AI systems are able to correctly identify images. See, AI systems like, say, ChatGPT, for example, they don't see images the way you and I do. If I gave you the image of a dog, you would instantly know that, okay, this is the image of a dog because you've got eyes, you've got a brain, and you've seen dogs before, right? However, AI systems, they don't have eyes the way you and I do. So what happens is when you upload that image of a dog to, let's say, for example, ChatGPT, all ChatGPT sees is this big grid of pixels. Each pixel will represent maybe like the edge of the image, maybe like the lines and so on. So ChatGPT will begin to scan through those grid of pixels, recognizing the patterns, the lines, and as it scans even deeper, it begins to make out the shape of the image, the texture, and so on, and eventually it will be able to deduce that, okay, this image is that of a dog. That's how they identify what the images are. And because these AI systems, they've already been trained with thousands and thousands and thousands of images of dogs, they've been able to identify particular kinds of patterns that belong to dog images. So because of this training and because of all the scanning, the AI system will be able to accurately predict that, okay, I am looking at the image of a dog. Now, where do adversarial patch attacks come in? See, adversarial patches, these are physically printed patches that you can place on objects, and these patches have been designed in such a way that they aim to corrupt that pattern recognition system in the AI systems. It's kind of like us as humans when we see optical illusions, right? We become fooled. We don't know exactly what we're looking at. It's kind of like the same thing with AI systems, right? They understand and identify patterns, but when you add something to that pattern to distort it, then the AI system becomes fooled. Let me give you an analogy, maybe not the best analogy, right? But imagine you were given a glass of pure water, right? It's 100% pure water. You can drink that glass of water, right? But imagine somebody comes in and puts just the tiniest little sprinkle of, say, sand into that glass of water. Now it's no longer pure and you can no longer drink it, right? That water has become contaminated. It's kind of like the same thing here, okay? These patches are placed on the objects, and because of the presence of those patches, it distorts the entire pattern of that object, fooling the AI system. So unlike other types of adversarial attacks that are a bit more subtle, they make very, very slight changes to the images and so on, adversarial patch attacks, they are real, they are visible, they are physical, and they can be placed in the real world. Now, researchers have already shown in different ways how AI systems can be fooled through these patches. One research showed that an AI system was actually fooled into thinking that a banana was actually a toaster simply because that banana had a patch placed on it. Other researchers have also shown that facial recognition systems fail at recognizing who people are whenever they wear certain kinds of t-shirts with peculiar kinds of patterns or patches on those t-shirts. And in other cases, we have seen our autonomous vehicles being fooled into thinking that a stop sign was a speed limit sign simply because that stop sign had a physical patch on it. Now, why is it important that we discuss this particular kind of attack? Well, we're beginning to rely more and more on AI for security, for automation, and if our AI systems can be fooled so easily by the mere presence of a patch, then maybe we do have some serious issues that we need to address. Like, a human being would never ever be fooled into thinking that a banana was a toaster simply because that banana had a sticker on it, right? So it's very, very important for us to understand what these particular types of attacks are and how we can mitigate against them. Now, speaking of mitigation, we have researchers who are currently training AI systems to actually look for the adversarial patches on the images and simply ignore them. So now these AI systems, they're being trained to look for these kinds of adversarial patches, and if they see them, simply ignore them. We have other researchers creating anomaly detection systems that will scan through the image, look for any potential anomalies, and then deliberately filter out those anomalies. These are two ways how AI systems are currently being trained to fight back against these adversarial patch attacks. And of course, in the world of cybersecurity, it's always a game of cat and mouse. You have the bad guys coming up with different ways to attack systems, and then the good guys have to come up with ways to defend against those types of attacks. And then the bad guys will have to go back to the drawing board and come up with new ways to attack those systems. The good guys will also now have to come up with new ways to defend against these new types of attacks, and the game goes on and on and on. Who knows, maybe in a few months from now, we're going to have new types of adversarial patch attacks. Well, that's it for today's short tutorial where I discussed the adversarial patch attacks against AI systems. If you're new here to the channel, welcome to Lab Cyber. I discuss all things cybersecurity and AI. So if this kind of content interests you, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video. If you enjoyed today's video, do give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, put them down in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer them as soon as I possibly can. My name is Alex. It's been a pleasure. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.